on here. Okay, so you're going to have watercolors at your table, a cup of water for your table, and you can have one extra of this. It probably won't be as full or as nice as this one. And then you're each going to have a skinny brush like this that will say size 0 on it somewhere. Maybe it rubbed off. This one maybe didn't get printed.
Mine's just wood.
This one, that's fine. And it probably, most of them, if they're skinny like this, it's a 0. Yep. So you are going to get your brush wet. And these are a little wet because 6th grade was using them. So if I am going to fill in the inside of this outlined blue wing, what would be its opposite?
Orange.
Oh, thank you. So I just took a tiny bit of water and I'm going to, now since they're new, I think it'll be really, really thick. And we're not using a lot of water because the more water you use, the lighter it's going to be. And we want these to be very dark and bright. So I still want you to try and stay within the lines. So yeah, try to see if you can. Now, see, red will look very different. I'll do red next, okay? So you should have thick crayons so that if I were to take this orange and if I went over this whole thing, and it's kind of thick, so it still kind of goes over it. So you still need to stay within the lines. If it was more watered down, a lot of times it'll kind of spread away from that crayon. Like,
Is that good or bad?
see how it kind of moved? Did you guys see that?
Is that good or bad?
You want it to be thick. Like, well, you want this to be bright. Okay, but I want you to still stay within the lines because what I talked about here does move from side to side. It kind of bubbles away. But I still want you to stay within the lines even though it has that kind of wax resistant barrier. So if you are coloring the inside and you end up coloring like this, you will lose points for it being messy. The other thing is that the more water, see how I keep adding more water? That's too light, okay? You want it to be dark. So the more water you have, the lighter it gets. Okay, and that would work more. See how it moves away from the crayon? Okay, but we want ours to be nice and bright. Okay, so to show the red, because some people thought the orange looked a little bit like red. And these are a little bit gooey watercolors. Like, you just might need to add a little bit more water, especially since they're new. Also, with these brushes, see how if I push all the way down, that's a lot thicker line than if I just use the tip of the brush. Okay? That's going to make it a lot easier and more controlled for you to fill in. So this is, the opposite of green is?
Red.
Kind of gave that away, didn't I? Yeah, Christmas color. Okay? So I'm just using the tip of the brush and trying to stay within the lines, because if I go outside of the green, that means I'm getting into a different color, because the opposite of red is?
Green.
Okay, so then,
For your name, could you, like, if you put it on where you're painting the bugs, could you make it like fall colors?
yeah, what you do, the name of your bugs can be whatever colors you want. And that's not going to be filled in at all, so then, but here's our green. Okay?
Name the bugs in pencil. Just like in pencil.
You should put them in crayon, otherwise the watercolors probably
I put mine in.
will go right over it. Yep, because if I have a really thick green like this and I go over, we can't see the pencil at all. Okay, because you will be adding a background. Now, something you might want to do is, we started with orange. If I were you, and we have the list up on the board of the opposites, but with all your bugs, anything that's outlined in blue, I'd fill in with orange. Then move on to the next color that you have. Let's say the next one we did was red. Fill in all the pieces that need to have red on the inside. That's going to keep you from getting confused, okay? Because I am going to check to make sure that you use the complementary colors the way you're supposed to, okay? And on the inside of your bug, no brown and no black, okay?
They can be on your background.
Yep, but they can be on your background. If you have stripes, so let's pretend there was green stripes that go across here, all of that would be colored in red. Okay? But like we talked about how this was red on, this might be different. So this will be a different color here. You can have a different color on the inside depending on your crayon. Okay? Any questions before we get started?
I have one that I have to show you my picture for it.
Okay. Then go ahead and you may get started.